Hey guys, 7th here, and I'm proud to announce, due to popular demand, my inaugural episode of Redneck Retro Review, where I look back at old games that some of y'all probably played, and some games that I wish I had not. And we're starting off today with one of my favorite classics on the NES, Super Dodgeball. So sit back and let's take a look at this sumbitch.
Now some of you old schoolers might say, 7th, how could you choose this over Tecmo Super Bowl as your favorite sports game on NES? And to that I say, fuck you, fanboy. If I want an opinion of that caliber, I'll let an Iraqi hooker queef in my damn face. You ain't pissing on my rose-tinted glasses, goddammit. Super Dodgeball was created by Technos as a loose NES port of their 1987 Japanese arcade game, and has the same huge-headed characters you see in their other NES titles like River City Ransom, Crash and the Boys Street Challenge, and Nintendo World Cup Soccer. The gameplay might also remind you of Super Spike V-Ball, which was also made by Technos, but hell, it ain't half as fun. The game has three main modes: the single-player world tournament, player versus player, and beanball mode, which is a no-rules free-for-all out in the back lot. Don't let the cartoony graphics fool you, this game is fucking brutal. You have 6 men on your team, each with their own stats. At the beginning of each match, you choose which 3 players will be on court, and which ones will defend from the sidelines. The 3 players on the court each have their own life bar. Every time you hit an opponent, they take damage. When a player runs out of health, they shuck off their mortal coil and fly off to the great dodgeball court in the sky. That's right, folks, this is a dodgeball game wherein you win by murdering the opposing team. Now you can run and hit an opponent, or even use your defensive players in true American fashion to bitch slap a guy while he's down or stunned, and you'll know when that happens because the victim will stand there panting and looking like Barney from The Simpsons. But the real bread and butter of this game are the super attacks. Each of your players has 2, a running attack and a jumping attack. These take the most damage, but both take a running start and perfect timing to pull off, and can still be caught or dodged if done right. The moves vary in power depending on the player, and on some occasions can be so damn powerful that the victim gets knocked off one side of the screen and comes back from the other side. That's right, you can hit a player so goddamn hard it knocks them all the way around the world in half a second. Can you do that in Tecmo Bowl? I didn't fucking think so! Both the super attacks and just throwing the ball are steerable by pressing up and down. With the super attacks, this allows you to potentially hit multiple targets at once, causing bodies to fly all over the fucking screen. It's melee at its finest. The tournament mode takes you to countries around the world, which changes the look and style of your opponents, the style of the music playing, and the type of terrain you play on. This can have a negative effect on your players. For example, in Kenya, you seem to be playing on a field made entirely of elephant shit, as it's a lot harder to build up speed for your super attacks. And in Iceland, they probably meant Greenland, but you don't need a degree in geography to make fucking video games, so who gives a shit. The field is made of ice, so you can easily slide by accident over the midline, which causes you to drop the damn ball. What's really funny about this is the blatant racism going on, particularly in Kenya and especially in India, where half the team looks like the dark-skinned Bobo from Double Dragon. Meanwhile, everyone in the US team is white. It's like no one from Technos has ever watched the Olympics in over 50 goddamn years. The graphics are typical for an NES game, and with that comes bad flickering. There's hardly ever a point in this game where someone on the screen isn't missing body parts. It's like no one in Japan fills out their fucking organ donor cards anymore. Another weird aspect is that you can't really select which player you're controlling, short of passing the ball to them, which is trickier than it sounds. The system basically switches control for you to whoever is closest to the ball, so you have to stay sharp or you might end up getting hit in the back because you thought you were controlling someone else. This is where keeping the ball out of the hands of the other team is key to success. When I was a kid, I never owned this game till well after everyone had traded up to the 16-bit systems. If I went to the video store and there was nothing decent to rent, this was my go-to game, because I knew if I could get a friend to come over, I was in for a fun fucking time. I could think of no other game on the NES where you can have more fun going head to head. With a little practice, owning the shit out of your friends, trash talking the fuck out of them every time you send one of their players to the great beyond, gives you a sense of satisfaction you just won't get from any other game in the NES library.
As you can see, this is a fun fucking game with a few little problems here and there that doesn't really detract from the experience overall. There's only one real downside to this game. You gotta be careful if you have little kids living with you, because they're young and they're impressionable and you have no idea what they might try to copy from this shit.